Hey guys, hope you can hear this over the sound of the motor, but I've had some problems with 3A here, stumbling at low RPMs, cruising along slow in first or second gear. Motor stumbles on itself and just kind of sputters until you pull the choke out. Pull the choke out maybe a quarter to halfway, it settles right down and runs smoother, but obviously that's not the way you want to operate. Picked up a couple new gauges here in the past week or so. I've got a vacuum gauge, which of course you get a new gauge, you find some new problems, and you can see that thing spluttering a little more than it should be, which is typically, from what I've read, an indication of a vacuum leak or misadjusted valve somewhere. I've got a new dwell and tach meter, which is absolutely awesome for anybody that doesn't have one. Running right now at about 750-ish, maybe a little more RPMs. The dwell I've set to 41 degrees, which is right where it should be. So the vacuum gauge here, you can see is fluttering. If I give it a little bit of throttle, it'll even out about 850 or so RPM. Looks a little better, but it's still fluttering a little more than it should. See, it just kind of jumps around there. Just readjusted all the valves to 16 thousandths of an inch. They weren't far off to begin with, but I went through and checked them all, had to adjust a couple of them. Checked them 3 times going through, and they were all fairly consistent every time. I can't seem to find any other vacuum leaks. Everything on the carb seems tight, as does all the other fittings and things, but I've still got some issues here. So timing, I've checked with the timing light. That's -5, top dead center. It's raining today, so since I've done all of these changes and tweaks, I haven't gone back out on the road to see if it still stumbles at low RPMs, but regardless, I just don't think that is what you want to see. So if anybody has any suggestions here, as always, I appreciate the input. Thanks a lot, guys.